Welcome into this week's edition of Maverick Insider. The Minnesota State men's hockey team picked up a couple of ties against Wisconsin over the weekend. I'm Rob Clark, joined alongside head coach Luke Strand. Coach, how do we feel about non-conference ties?
Well, no, you didn't go to play, you didn't go to tie, you came to win. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of good out of it. Non-conference ties, that formula, the shootouts got nothing to do with outcome, nothing to do with MPI points. So for us to go get our margin as slim as it was, I think there's a lot of growth in our game, and at the same time, it prepares us for next chapters here.
What were the key takeaways for you from this series against the Badgers?
Depth. I think Wisconsin's depth's excellent, and I think it really forced me as a coach to stress our depth, because we had to stretch our lineup and do some things that we hadn't had to do yet, and we won't maybe have to do for a while. So guys got moments of truth. I thought they were hard. We got to play minutes in crucial, like when the score is tied. Like, I'll tell you, you go back to game 1 of the year, we were in these same situations, we failed. Game 3, 4 of the year, we didn't fail in those situations. We had a little bend and we didn't break. So I liked where that got to.
You mentioned the depth. I go back to your first year here at MSU. There's Sam Morton last year, Rhett Pitlick. Do you feel like you have a guy like that on your team as far as the forwards, or is it more kind of scoring going to be spread out a little bit this year?
Yeah, there could be a committee factor too, a little bit by committee. No one's going to complain about Luigi's start on the offensive side of things. I do think our 5-on-5 scoring has got to get a little grittier, a little harder, a little less cute. So otherwise, we're going to keep counting on power plays. At some point, power plays don't score when you need them to. So, but that's been on fire of the beginning of the year here.
And that was going to be my next question. Luigi Benincasa, just how much has he really made of this opportunity, I guess, this season, and how has he really improved as a player over the last couple of years here in a Maverick uniform?
Yeah, the biggest part would be, for me, he came in and he was not healthy when he first got here. So he had gone through a surgery in the summertime. It didn't allow him to train properly for year 1 last year. He kind of got off to a slow start for me because of that. It kind of backed him up a little bit. I thought the end of his year was excellent. And then this year he's got on the scoreboard. He had a great summer for himself, and I think the two go hand in hand. And he's a catalyst for offense. So when you get to play next to him, I think you feel like your opportunity for offense is going to go up.
When we look at this group finally get to play at home, just how big of an advantage is that going to be for this team to finally have 2 road trips to start the year, but now back inside the friendly confines of the Mayo Clinic Health System Event Center?
Yeah, it's great to be home. There's a lot of new players that are experiencing home for the first time. So there is a little bit of that. I mean, that's a lot of firsts across the board. I would give our crew credit, our fan base credit, major credit. Like, the way we showed on the road was impressive, and you couldn't be more proud to stand behind a group of guys that had that kind of support from the fan base and community. Was excellent.
I know last week we talked about distractions. It's banner night coming up this week against RPI, where we have the McNaughton Cup banner being hung and the Mason Cup banner being hung. What is kind of your message to the team to maybe eliminate some of those distractions that come with the celebration as well?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, right? We've got a lot of new players that didn't maybe do the heavy lifting to make sure that got up in the air. So I think there'll be an enjoyable part where there's got to be a reflection. Those guys that won those cups a year ago deserve the reflection, and they deserve the honor of being in the rafters. But then inside the game, 60 minutes, you're on, and your target just got bigger. You hung a banner, like, your target doesn't get any bigger than that. So there'll be a work on our maturity, see if we can refocus.
How important will it be for this group to not overlook RPI here? Those are the final 2 games of the non-conference portion of the schedule here early on.
I mean, that's my job. Honestly, it's been that way every day so far. The reminder of, don't get bored doing things right. Don't get bored with consistency, because you want to be able to pound the stone until it breaks, and you don't know when it's going to happen, but you got to get after it. And I just find for our group, we probably, maybe a year ago, I didn't have to say it as much because I thought that group they had heard it for a year already. This group hadn't heard for a year. So they're helping themselves, though. I do think a few days of practice here has been upbeat and up personal tight. We've got some injuries, so we got to fight through some guys having some new opportunities.
And last question for you, Coach. Alex Tracy has had a very decorated career here in a Maverick uniform. When you look at him through the first 4 games, it seems like he's continuing to improve even after all these years here.
Special man, special kid. Like his approach is elite. His taking nothing for granted is so high end. As a coach, it's a real treat to see the maturity of a. I mean, we all know goalies to be a bit goofy and off. He's really normal as a goalie, but he's got an understanding of the competitiveness it takes in the position, not just the technique. And he'll be the first one to deflect it to the team and defenders and all these things. But his timeliness and consistency as a goalie it's elite.
How much does a team really feed off of his presence in net?
I mean, you feel like you can make a mistake and he's got your back. We just can't make too many mistakes and expect him to clean up our back all the time. But you're certainly, when you get off the bus and your goalie's better than the other team's goalie, your percentage of winning goes up no matter what. That's how I think our guys feel every day they come to the rink.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Maverick Insider after the break. Stay with us.